Hello, I'm Daniela, and welcome to the first prompt in the Stitch the Season 2024 online workshop. This is where we create Santa's magical mission of everything he'll need to go across the globe on Christmas Eve. All the links are below for previous videos, for the downloads, etc. And today's video is for the mission objective. That's the prompt, mission objective. What is Santa's goal for Christmas Eve? Well, I think it's the Naughty and Nice list, and I have a download for free that you can download and print on fabric, print on paper, or create your very own. Now let me show you how I do it. I also include a video for altering pens to make them a little more festive if you want to include them in your journal like I did. So let's get started. So to get started on our pages, you take your pages that you've already used the basting stitch to mark both sides, so you have your nice page size, and now figure out the best orientation for you. And that I just mean when you put the two pages together, right sides on the outside, and you fold it in half, you might see a little lip that you might like or you might not like. Just play around until you have the configuration that you like. So I like this one right here, and for this page I can play around with it. There's still some give because it's only a basting stitch, but I like how that looks. I'm going to take my marker, and on the right hand side of the top of the pages, I'm just going to dot, make a little dot so I always know which side is up. And that will always go in the right hand top corner. And I'll do that on both of these pages. So each folded page, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 pages to work on. So that gives me quite a bit. So this will be my first page. Set this one aside. This is where we start to get into the fun of it. On this page, I'm going to use the download that I printed onto some fabric paper. You don't need this. This is a free download. I'll include the link in the show notes, but it has the Naughty and Nice list. And this is our mission objective. Each one of these are the prompts for the pages. They're not in order, but that's another matter for another day. First one is mission objective, and I have the Naughty and Nice list. So the first thing I'm going to do with my scissors is cut out around the Naughty and Nice list, and I'm going to cut out all of my labels in a neat fashion. I'll cut them larger than I need so that I can trim them down further. You don't have to use the labels. It's just an optional step. So now I've cut out all my pieces. I have my prompts that I can use, or you could omit if you don't want, or you can create them your own way. I cut out my Naughty and Nice list. I left a little border. You don't have to. Kind of like that effect. And I have my mission objective, which is this prompt for this particular page. I also cut out the Santa's Magical Mission 2024 that was on the bottom of the page. I might incorporate that in my book somehow. It's just something that I like. It's not required at all. What I want to do is add to the Naughty and Nice list right away. I think when I put it on the page, I want to have a little backing. I found this scrap piece of muslin, and I kind of like those raw edges. So to start with, I'm just going to trim it down. And to get those nice raw edges, I just snip a little bit on the fabric, and then I pull it, and it gives me that nice raw edge. I kind of like that. It adds a little texture, and now I just want this little edge to be raw. If you don't like that, you don't have to do this. You can use any type of fabric as well. But for me, this works quite well. The next part is where it starts to get fun. I'm going to take my Naughty and Nice list here, and I'm just using this cardboard backing. I want to add names to the Naughty and Nice list. I'm going to take names just from my tennis friends because I can add them in a fun way. It just makes it a little more personal. You can leave it blank. You can add your grandchildren's names. You can make up names. Whatever works for you. So I'll start adding their names just in a simple script. I can embroider them if I want, but I think that using this archival ink, fade-proof pigment ink marker is a good way to go about it. So now that I've had my fun adding my friends' names to the list, I can continue. Just makes it a little personal for me. So this is going right on this front page here. I don't need the inside pages, and I have my dot so I know which side goes up. So I'll just move this over. Another thing I like to do is make that fold, and then I just make a line here for my own benefit. It can be dashed. This is just so that I know to keep nothing folding over there, because that's where the fold of the page, the spine, is going to be sewn down. So I'm starting to build up my page. I'll have my background here, my naughty and nice list. And to make this all come together, I want to have a pencil holder. I have a piece of fusible fleece and that piece of fabric that we created for the pencil holder. You can modify this however you like. I'll set this aside for a moment. So now to create my pencil holder, I'm going to take my piece of fabric and fold it right in half. I'm going to put my fusible fleece with the textured side down on the wrong side of the fabric, kind of in the center, because what I'm going to do is just stitch down one side and then turn it. So once my iron is heated and I have my fleece attached to the outside of the fold, I'm going to take my iron and press it down. And now I'm going to take this to my machine and just stitch across the line here. And then I can turn it out and press it to make that little pencil holder. So I've stitched around one end. I have now just a cylinder with the interfacing on the outside. Clip the ends, and now I can turn that cylinder. Just going to take it, feed it through itself. Takes a moment to get it just right. It's not a tricky piece. It's not a very small seam, so I can get my fingers in there to work through it. And then once I have it, I have the raw ends on the side. Just want to pull that out to make sure it looks nice. And now I want to press that neatly. So that came out very well. So now I have my page that I'm going to tack this down with some stitches. I'm going to stitch through the piece here, and if I want the background to lay flat, I'll stitch through that as well. Then I have my mission objective. I can move this up and put it here, maybe underneath the piece, but I think I kind of liked it on the side, just going up like this. I'll trim it as well and tack that down off camera. For the pencil holder, let me show you how I want that to look. So I'll take these off for now, and I'm going to replace that inner page just so you have an idea of how this is going to look and how it's going to be created. So this is going to be my front page, my naughty and nice list. I'm going to take this pencil holder and sandwich it between the front and the back page, and I just fold it over. Now, depending on the pencil you use, that will determine the size you make it. Here I have a bunch of pencils. Purchased these. Cute little gingerbread man. It's pretty tall, but it'll work. I've got these cute little patterns. This says greatest time of the year, let's get cozy. And these are some that I made, and I have a video showing that. In case you don't want to go out and buy anything or you don't have anything, there's plenty you can make with what you have around the house. So I'll include that video, that link, at the end of this video. From here, I just have to figure out the size that I want and which pen I want to go in here. Because it's my colors, I'm going to use this wonderful time of the year pen. It also has a little clip that makes it even better, gives me a little wiggle room if I don't get the exact size just right. And I don't want it to be too snug. So I can put it just like that. Maybe give it just a little extra. And I'm going to pin it only to the front piece here, the page that I'm currently working on. I'll probably take this off while I stitch this down, but that's how it's going to look at the end when it's done. I want to make sure it fits. It looks pretty good. I might even actually give it a little more give so it's loose. It may stick out a little bit of my journal, and it's an optional step. I just think it looks really nice all together here. So off camera, I'll tack this down. I'm going to use hand stitching to do that. Add my mission objective. We'll come back and take a look at the final page. So I finished stitching everything down. I stitched around the border here of the Naughty and Nice list. I have just a little kind of mobile fabric behind it, which I like that. I like that texture. I like that interest. Got my mission objective stitched down. I added a few just little stitches here of the pink to pull in the pink. I may go back as I complete the journal and add a few more things around. I want this to look homemade. I want it to look interesting, but also like Santa's mission. And I did stitch just on the edge here to the front page, that little pen holder, so I can remove it or use it as I like. I added a few more names just to my Naughty and Nice list as they popped into my head. I thought that it was appropriate. I want to document this. And so that's the first page. The next page that we do is actually 2 pages. So I'm going to flip this over for our next video, and we'll be working on a dual layout. And that will be for our pre-flight layout. So I wanted to give you some time to just let that theme roll around in your head, show you what I do, and I can't wait to see what you do. So please be sure to post your work. But that is the first page in our Santa's Mission workshop. So that's the first prompt in the series. We're really starting to cook around here. It's a beautiful journal coming together. It looks a little haphazard at first, but I'm sure you can see the bigger picture, and eventually it'll all be wonderful. I hope you consider joining our Facebook group for Stitch the Season 2024, and I hope you're enjoying this series. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And thanks for joining me today.